computer. All right, what is up, everyone? The Teds are back, and we're back from our trip to Cambria, where we tried to record some episodes and some things going down, like LeBron's new haircut, LeBron joining the Phillies. Um, what other things did we talk about during that cast that I don't think should be uploaded because the audio is bad and I don't know. But there's never there's never any you know, there's never a lack of things to talk about
Well,
every day. There's so much going on.
I have an opinion now that I see your cat up on his stool and
Yeah, he seems to like the attention. I don't
he
know. He knew
his
that I was
tail,
recording.
yeah, his tail. As soon as it started, the tail wasn't moving. Then it started wagging like a happy dog. So I thought, oh, okay. So two voices. It is calming or enjoyable to the cat for some reason.
He can
So
only hear me because I got the headphones on. So
and
I don't know.
And maybe the cat is as smart as, speaking of Cambria, I think we saw two different shows about octopus. I guess you'd have to say octopi because it was multiple octopus, remember? So I think that was good. And
Octopuses.
octopussite, or no, not pussy,
Octopusi.
not pussy, it's octopi. And
Um,
it,
yeah, we
it
saw these two. We saw uh I forget what the first one was called, but we saw my octopus teacher, and we learned that octopus are very smart and they can do all kinds of crazy things that, you know, oh, and but we couldn't talk about just the octopus. I think the family was more focused on the scientist man,
yeah.
and we kind of were joking that he had fallen in love with the octopus and he had developed a strange relationship with it that and he was neglecting his family. So that was
It,
fun.
it felt like it, but to me, there's kind of a couple of facts in there listening and learning about octopus. I couldn't fail to forget. I tried, but I kept thinking about, I think it was two World Cups ago. They had an octopus in a aquarium
Yeah, in Germany, I think it was.
at a bar in Munich. You're right.
In
And
Munich, yeah.
in Munich, and they asked before every single game that was televised that this bar watched, they asked the octopus, they put the two team colors in the aquarium, and then the octopus would go to the side where, it was picking the winners, and it never lost. It picked every game correctly based on the team colors.
Mhm.
So I always thought, okay, octopus is either sly or smart. I'm not sure what they're doing. But then, which is really weird, is I love octopus. I mean, it's one of my favorite things, and I don't eat it very often. If I get it once a year, I'm like stoked. But now, after learning, the pregnant female gives birth to 500,000 octopuses, hoping that one, two, or possibly three would survive. Because before the show, I was thinking, well, this octopus is so good, and it's always on the menu at this certain restaurant I like in San Diego, that they must be farming these octopus. How could they keep it on the menu, right? They
Mm.
got to have control.
They do
And
have
then
farms.
they don't. They don't. We looked it up right after that, and we said that they will not, they don't live in a farm. They don't do well.
I was just reading about one in Spain that they closed. I don't know if it was
Is that because those guys ran across from Morocco and stepped on it?
dude, we should get into that. I don't know the full story, but I guess there was like a mad just a mad dash, a mad swim, you could
No,
say, from
Spain. Yeah, Spain said they were going to do a social test. They were going to leave the border open one day, and
oh,
30,000 people. By the time they got
let's
about
go.
3,000 got through. Well, Spain is, very socialist. And basically, if you can get in and you can get a job, you got government this, government that, you're kind of set. So they hit the border. About 3,000 got in. They went, okay, this test did not They did not come in nicely, and nobody signed up, and nobody, checked in for, kind of, are you vaccinated? Where are you from? All that stuff. They were, who knows where they were coming from? Maybe they left Morocco, but they were from all points south.
Right, and it's a lot like some of the migrants that come to, our country.
Yeah.
I'm sure a good many of them are peaceful and are just trying to find a better life. But then there's like, I don't know, a percent that's like up to no good, and
Well,
and
they're
that's what
gang.
we're afraid of.
Yeah, they're gangbangers, they're Chinese agents, they're everything else. And today in our paper, we had our first case of measles in countless years. Okay. And it was from an immigrant that gave it to another person that was not vaccinated. So when you come in illegally, you don't get checked for, you don't fill out the paperwork. I've got the measles shot. If you don't, stand in this line and get the damn shot, right? So they don't go through that, and you have no idea all the ramifications. All the reasons, Spain checked it out, but it didn't work. It was a disaster, and people were heading back. I mean, I think a couple of thousand got through, but they couldn't. They
Well,
they,
the
they couldn't.
military was summoned. That's about
Yeah,
as much as I know,
yeah.
and they're probably gonna figure it out. But yeah, it's a shame that, places like that in the world are so, I guess living conditions are so bad that everyone's gonna flee, and
Well,
it almost
I
becomes the responsibility of these border nations that could potentially, receive a huge influx of migrants. It's like now we have to look after them, because if we don't make sure they're good, they're all going to come over here or anywhere else. And so now it becomes our problem, or these
yeah.
these these countries' problem. Like, and I don't know. To some, and is it, you could make the argument that it is our responsibility, because a lot of these countries, in the past, Spain is a great example. Very, a conquering nation, went around, took what it wanted from a lot of the world, and then and they were set up nice for, generations. And one could probably argue that Spain is, successful because of these conquests, whatever. We all know how much gold they sent back home from, South America, during the times of Christopher Columbus and whatnot and all that stuff. So I don't know. Did we
Well,
plunder these places beyond recognition, where now in the modern times they are so, they are so without that it's come to this? But I don't know. I
well,
the hell do I know?
you bring up really two good. I, think two things jumped in my head. And the first one, I'll call it out, but we'll come back to it. Is gold and silver a good investment? And I am, just so you know, I mean, you might want to look into it. I'm going to actually talk to my traders today. But
Yes, please, because I am too busy to pay attention to the markets, and
there
there's a
is
shit ton of stuff going on.
there's a lot going on in the news. When you get a chance, take a look at, um, China and the US are vying for ownership of gold and silver. It's gold and silver. And it's
Silver
scare
and gold.
and it's driving the market price for those elements up dramatically, and people are making a ton of money. But I can't tell if it's all smoke and mirrors. It's a game that Trump played and the Chinese premier played to get the price up, but they are actively trying to get their hands on gold. There's a race to gold and silver, and the economists are saying it's because paper's becoming less and less, important. And so what if the economy sputters and dollars are gone and we got to start over with gold and silver? Will you have a little bit? And so that's what I'm going to be asking about. But the other point you brought up is, why are these, did they plunder? Well, the only thing they were using gold, they weren't using it as a precious metal like we use it today in transistors and data capture.
It's for the the bank.
It was their, but they didn't really have banks. They had artifacts. They had, the king, anything, any gold he could get his hand on, he
I'm
raised
sorry,
his
I meant to
building.
say the treasury.
Okay. Well, it was our treasury at one point, but I'm talking about like the Incas and guys like that. that had it where, where Spain went in and exploited it. I mean, dude, we're ancestors of a Spanish mission 10 generations before me, 11 before you, of Spain going up the Rio Grande as far as they could to find gold.
The Rio
And
Grande.
and our ancestors, yours and mine, were soldiers on that trip. And so, we were in America in 1598, way before America. I mean, way before America, when it was Spanish territory. So it brings up the question. I bring it up once in a while on our calls, for our listeners, write this down. There's a book out there called The Last Hours of Ancient Sunlight, and it's written
Interesting.
written by a guy named Tom Hartman, Thom Hartman,
Last hours of what?
Ancient Sunlight, and it's in my library upstairs. Uh,
Ooh,
it's
that sounds
written
fascinating.
it's written in 1998. A team of scientists, apolitical. It was before the world went, I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican or I'm an independent. All that way before that, it was when people could actually work together and put that kind of thing aside, right? These guys studied how many people, the question was, how many people will the earth survive today, given our current knowledge and our technology, how many people year after year can our planet maintain without us getting out of balance? Okay. And they looked deep, long look, and they came up with the number 5.8 billion people. And we are right around 8 billion people today. Okay. So
Wait,
we
so they
are,
say the sun is like we have enough resources for 5.8 billion?
yeah, when there's, at the Big Bang, we have enough precious metals, we have enough, you know, um, what is that? What is the I can't, not urethra. I'm close, but
Urethra?
no, there is a chemical in the ground, nitrogen, and it's a year something.
Sounds like
Anyhow,
nightshade.
those two products together allow us to have crops. Okay. And with the
Nitrogen
anyhow, we can
and
our farming can will survive 5.8 billion people year over year over year to eternity, right? And of course, if your technology improves, that number might be able to go up and sustain more people. If something goes wrong, if you have a devastating hot summer like we got right now, and things are burning up all over the world, you could get out of balance. But it's 5.8 billion, and nobody recognizes it. Nobody will accept that we got too many people. We were talking about this the other day around the pool, and okay, well, who wants to sign up? And I said, no, they tried to sign you up. That's why does Fauci have, pardons for anything that can possibly happen? Okay. Somebody in the
oh,
government,
I need to ask why he took the fifth. Just curious.
because he did it. He was part of the team. We actually put money into that lab in Wahoo or whatever it was called.
And yeah, we were having a debate because I have a coworker who absolutely thinks that this is a witch hunt for Fauci from the administration. And you could easily say because Trump is a vindictive person, he'll strike you down for, the slightest, offense. So it does fit like his MO to do something like that. But I am also on kind of more on your side because from all the stuff that I looked at, from what I could tell, from what we read, he approved the gain of function research. But what we don't know is how the the virus got out. And I think that was the hush part is America and
Well,
China together, we fucked up on this,
okay,
and they're
okay,
just
wait,
trying to hide it a little bit.
but wait, hold on.
I don't know if it was a
Whenever
mass conspiracy
it
to.
it does it doesn't matter. Once the gain, we put money into it, a bunch of other countries put, once it got incubated and it was in, it was only a matter of time it was going to get out. Somebody was going to make a mistake, somebody was going to do it on purpose. It might have happened in a generation after you. It was going to get out eventually, but they wanted to see somebody got it out because what it did, if you look at America and probably all over the world, it took a generation of people out, a fine line of people, millions of people that were basically chronically, open to getting this and dying from it. I mean, I know some healthy people that got it and died. Healthy people, young, vibrant people
That's
that
why it's
just,
so weird. The those one in 1,000 cases where a healthy person would get taken down. It's like, huh?
but if you knew how it was going to kill you, then you could see in the population how many people have these attributes, are likely to die. And I think they tweaked this thing. They got it down to we want to be able to control how many people it kills. And I swear this, I remember a reporter saying, after COVID and they had all the statistics of the death, and I saw because we had people in our family in retirement villages, healthcare centers, there was a percentage of those people that just got absolutely wiped out. Most of the people in that care center, and care, including my sister and other people, they were strong enough. They got sick and they got fine. But there was a group of people that could not fight this thing and it killed them. And it took out millions. But I remember reporters saying afterwards that it is funny of all the government, agencies that who got help by it? It was Social Security. Social Security for the time right after that went back into balance because it lopped off a bunch of people they were paying benefits to that no longer existed. And so, I don't know if America was in it for that gain, but that's what happened in America. It wiped out a subsection of people that people
Well,
don't they don't really care about.
the Social Security, the pensioners.
Well, that's what it knocked down, but it didn't knock down healthy pensioners. If you took care of yourself, but if you like had diabetes, if you were way overweight, if you had all those chronic illnesses because you smoked, you drank, you didn't give a shit about your body, it killed you. That's what it did.
There is a lot of very terribly unhealthy people in this country, and I don't know if it's necessarily themselves to blame. I mean, our food, our FDA is getting worse, as this administration continues.
Oh, time out,
And
time out.
they're allowing Frankenfood and really bad stuff into what we eat. Now, it's your choice. You don't have to eat these things, but just fewer and fewer like regulations happening. And I'm a little worried about. I just want the European food standard. I wish we
Dude,
could really fight hard for that
dude,
because Europeans have to. We send them all the same shit that we make here, but they force them to do it the proper way. Now, why can't we do that?
dude, we're driving to Cambria and you almost had a shit fit because we didn't go to In and Out, right? But guess what? And I don't blame you. It's freaking fresh food. It's good. It tastes great.
Well, I didn't understand because you were like, I wanted to, but then you passed it. And I was like,
Well,
I don't understand anybody
nobody
could
was ready
pass
to,
in and out.
nobody was ready to stop. But
Well, you made that decision on your own. You said it's too soon. These guys aren't going to want to eat.
at
And
any
it's
rate,
my fault. Once again, I was too polite and I didn't say anything. And
but as we drove on, I kept going, there's a McDonald's, there's a Jack in the Box, there's a Taco Bell. You
a
want to get
talk in
some,
the bell, and
I
we can't
said,
eat there.
there's Taco Bell. Do you guys want to get malaria or whatever they're giving out today? So
I'm
it
surprised I
was
didn't eat anything with Tyson lettuce in it. Or was it Taylor? Taylor Farms?
Taylor
Yeah,
Farms.
I'm
But
surprised I didn't get got.
all that being said, you went, no, don't stop there. No, don't stop there. No, don't stop.
I
And
mean,
then,
I mean, I don't know. We went to Subway, which is,
but I
I
was
mean, they
like,
were in trouble for years for having plastic in the bread.
but I went, I
Why do they put
serious,
plastic in the bread?
I got to tell you that I got no lettuce on my sandwich. I didn't trust them. I
I
didn't
do,
trust them.
I do like their bread. I hope it's got no plastic in it now. But you know what? Anything that's processed, anything that's fast food, you can't really trust it. Can't trust anything.
But
You have to like only get your food at a produce
the
market
only
or
people
the
feeding their children at McDonald's are the poor. That's the reality. And that's who it's getting. And I don't think America cares that much about the poor. I really don't. I'm
they as sure as shit don't do now. Now they're like angry at them. They are really taking away, and that's kind of I don't. It's one thing to be harsh, but if you're, it's one thing to penalize people for not doing what they, for being poor or whatever. But you can't. I don't think you can do that without offering them something. And there's a lot of people on the street who they need like some sort of opportunity to get them out of their situation. And I just I don't know. I don't know why we can't provide some sort of I mean, the government's thinking, we don't want jobs just for the sake of employing people because if it's a job that's not needed, why are we creating it? And I get that. But I still think there are jobs to be had. Like there's a lot of dirty, like LA is filthy, like hire people to clean up the city, you know?
but can't you have a different minimum wage for a temporary job? I mean, it's still three times more than Mexico.
It's got to be something, but in the end, it's probably I don't know. It wouldn't be enough to live in LA, and that's the issue. Is they trying to raise the minimum wage in LA so like,
Well,
the poor can afford to live here, but it's like
you can live you
why
can
are
live.
the things co are, the price of living is really high, and so like
But Ted, people are willing to live 12 in a small house. They're willing to work different shifts and sleep in different shifts. They're willing to do that to get ahead, to get on their own. So, we can't be afraid of letting that happen as long as they're legal and they got their measles.
no,
I want
I'm
to,
cool. My point is like I don't know why they're trying to fix the balance in a very expensive city. They should move that sort of production to outside of LA, which is like you're trying to get people
I
that
agree.
can't afford things to afford things in LA where it's already just going to be so
Yeah.
hard. Like
Yeah.
take it, into the valley, take it north of there. Create the opportunities there because it's too hard here. You're asking too much of the city to make things meet. And
Yeah,
I don't know,
they
do it
can't
in a cheaper place.
they can't do it. Hey, this reminds me of a little shout out. I don't know if you saw my text message this morning about Dennis. Who Dennis is Jared's mentor.
I don't want to talk about the I get weird vibes when I hear Malta. I'm sorry. I can't help but think of the Epstein connections with Malta and now he's a knight in the order or whatever and I'm just like,
Well,
"Ugh."
you realize
Ugh.
Malta is a very interesting place that it's had something like over history because it's strategically located, between, let's say the Africa, the South, the
And they
Middle,
have, ancient, ruins, which is awesome,
right?
That's my thing about that
But
place.
all that going on for it, right? It is strategic. So people have and it's funny, they never mounted an army against an invader. They said, you can be here 10 or 15 years, and then once we're not strategic, move on, but just leave us alone. Let us live as we live. You can use our ports. It's a deep port, so you can put the big ass ships in there. But the reality is, they've always kind of maintained a neutral stance. Let somebody occupy them, take advantage of being occupied, don't fight it. Don't get your people killed off. Don't, make our guys go to war for you. And basically, Dennis did a good job for the Pope. He raised a lot of money from Malta for the poor. Essentially, that's what he is. He raises money. He's an expert at raising money. And I mean, look at St. John Bosco. He was the president. He raised a ton of money, made that school to the point where it's, great education and football powerhouse,
How do you
all that
think
stuff.
how do you think they do it? You go,
He
oh,
raises
it's
money.
a you but like I'm just trying to think of like because it's easy to if you just like if you talk to the right people who got big pockets and they're looking because there's an opportunity in giving money for them. It's like a tax write-off, right? What else is there?
It is a tax write-off, but he has a way. Okay, you hit the head on
Well, I want
the
to know
nail on it.
because I'm curious, just for my own sake. So you get a tax
When
write-off, you get to look good for your buddies and your friends, like, hey, I just donated to this great cause, and hopefully there is a thing so you can stand on a podium and say, look at this great person. They donated so much to our cause. And that's why I don't understand why in this country we don't try to sell off more like like I don't know why we don't go to the rich and be like, "Hey, you want this like street named after you? Donate to the city," you know?
Yeah, Ted, you hit it right on the head. I don't know what Dennis does. The next time I see him, I'll ask him. But he has scored in this era of virtual signaling. He has figured out a way how to talk to the rich because these poor people in these Caribbean islands didn't know how to raise money for their poor. And frickin' they said, the Pope said, well, check out Dennis. He did it for Malta. He can do it for you. And now he's over there too.
Well, you need the
So
connections, you need the contacts. If you're trying to raise money and you don't know anybody with deep pockets, then I don't know where you're going to start.
I,
Other poor
I,
people? That's not going to a
Ted,
great place to start.
I think it's back to the messaging. I think he knows how to message it. I really do. And you know, he's a USC graduate. He's rubbed shoulders. You know, he's in the service
I'm sure he
clubs
knows
USC.
exactly the type of treatment people want when they donate money. And
I
so
guarantee it.
I'm gonna give it to you.
I
And you know, it's and then if it was me as a donor, I would want to know there's transparency. I know where the money's going, how it's being spent. So I'm sure there's some sort of itinerary and how they're spending it outlined in a nice bullet pointed sheet. And then some sort of banquet where everyone gets to stand and for pictures and hey, check this out, you know, and something you can hang in your office wall later. And like you say, you're trying, there is you're
or
probably
how
going to get
about
a couple tax breaks a
or
year,
how
and so
yeah.
you're going to try to do something that aligns with the people in your circle or your businesses, and you know that will please them. So I don't think it's that hard to get people to donate. It's just knowing
Or
who the right people to find.
or what if you had a shitty past and you need to filter it? I mean,
Oh, bro, the whitewashing,
I think he knows how to do it,
the
and
laundering.
I give him credit. He's got a soft touch, and for whatever reason, shout out to Dennis Mulhapt. He's done it again, and he's not a young guy, man. He's been doing it for a while. So um, let's move on.
Come on, man. Don't. We don't need to know how old Dennis is. Don't flame him like that.
All right, what else?
Well, let's
We
get into the screwball talk because yesterday was our first day with our new superstar pitcher. We bent the will of the league. I mean, from what I understand, I sent you that text, you know, about all the trades and acquisitions that the Dodgers have secured over the last like 6 years. You know, let me pull it up because
no.
but basically like Mookie they didn't believe in Mookie.
Yeah,
Freeman, they didn't
they
believe him
thought
in
he was over the
Atlanta.
hill.
They
They
got
thought he
rid
was.
of Edman, and then Muncy was DFA'd, you know, like these are all people that were, you know, a couple years ago, they the league saw as having no value. So
They were
you
on the
have
rock pile.
you got to give it to the Dodgers for finding the diamonds in the rough, and maybe they were all rough, and they just knew how to shape them through, you know, intense pressure. I don't know, but for one example is they put some spectacles on Muncy, and now he's the the biggest home run hitter in Dodger history,
Yeah,
and that's just what the Dodgers organization does, and people want to argue with me that like because I tell them like we have the biggest staff, we develop players, we show them data that no other, you know, team is doing, and they go, well, the Dodgers have that money, and yeah, it's true. I think you know a good chunk of it goes to the fact that we're in SoCal, we're in LA, and you know even when the Dodgers weren't great, it's always been a thing to wear the Dodger hat. You know,
yeah,
it's always been an iconic thing, more iconic. I mean, it's up there with the Yankees hat. It's really those are the two hats in Major League Baseball, a
true,
Yankee fitted and a Dodgers fitted.
true.
And and so even if the teams were trash, that coolness factor of just being the city's team, it goes a long way. And so yeah, we do have that advantage. And so therefore we get the ticket sales that allow us to, pay for all this stuff. Um, but eh, yeah, but we are overspending, and maybe there should be a spending cap. What do you think?
I don't want a spending cap. I'm going to laugh at that because this is what's funny to me. Okay, the Dodgers were the first to 69 wins this year,
And we can't get
but
to 70.
we're stuck on
Ugh.
69.
We
We've
just
been
love that
stuck on
69.
we're stuck there for 6 games.
We
Okay,
can't stop
so
69ing.
but the Brewers got are the first team to 70, and
Oh,
they are.
well, good for
And
them, but they're very similar to the Dodgers with their spending too. They got, you know.
not anywhere near the Dodger spending. Nowhere near the
No, but
Dodgers.
I think they're second in staff. Like it's like the teams with the biggest staffs was like Dodgers, and then it was the Brewers, and then it was the Rays. And it's like, oh, good teams.
But that's the data. That's just like there's a girl that works out at my gym that I've talked to. She just does their social media. That's all she does. Okay. So they got all kinds of staff doing all that positive stuff that gives you an image. Um, but I'm talking about salary. Milwaukee's way down, way, way, way down. It's not even close.
Yeah.
So,
But they
so
do
what
have that Miserobski.
they do, but what gets me is that
Les Mis.
I watched almost every inning. Some of the innings gave me heartburn, but the game last night, Skubal pitched fantastic. The Dodgers let him down
But
in
what happened? Because I was kind of, on the Dodgers subreddit, when Dodgers do anything good during a live game, it gets posted. And so I'm kind of like, I got to see like Skubal strikeout, you know, how do I say his name? CRA, Crow Armstrong,
yeah,
whatever the hell his name.
Crow Armstrong.
So I watched him get struck out. I watched them get another really great inning, and it looked good. It was like 1-0, and then later on, I saw we were getting shellacked. So I don't know what happened.
He gave up a one-run home run to the guy after Crow Armstrong, a Asian back name, can't remember the dude's name. Suzuki hit a home run
Oh
and
yeah.
ripped it. But after that, he was just striking people out, getting easy outs. And then you get to the sixth inning, and he gave up a single. A Crow, you just had Crow Armstrong got a line drive to right field. First pitch. I don't know if you've ever seen this guy play, but man, he can steal bases. We don't have anybody like this on our roster. The
Yeah,
guy,
he's a hothead.
first pitch, he was at second base. I mean, and they say Scooball's pretty good at holding guys on. He just blew out of there, man.
No, no,
So
that guy plays with an intense hatred for the Dodgers. You see the stuff he said about us, about the fans of LA?
I I don't, and I don't really care about that, but he plays baseball the right way. And when he got on second, he makes everybody nervous. Everybody's jumpy. Everybody's throwing the ball before they catch it because he's so goddamn fast and aggressive. So what happens the next ball? My hated player from Houston, uh, he hits one off the plate. It goes straight up over the pitcher's head, drops in front of Edmonds. Edmonds can't get to the ball because the guy going from first to second is in his way and they don't call interference. And he literally stepped on the grass to get in front of Edmonds, which is completely illegal. That's out of the baseline. They should have called that guy out and they should have called the play dead.
Oh,
But
so there was some bad officiating.
yeah, and it was Bregman that did it. Bregman hit that ball. But right after that, he came out
The
and
cheater.
Vesia just gave it up. Vesia's
Damn,
done.
that's the second game Bessie has kind of given it up in. It's not
Yeah,
like him. But you know
he.
what? Whatever. It's the regular season, and it's the first game of Screwballs start with us.
But that's not why I brought it up. The Dodgers. I mean, I'm talking about the guys you just talked about that came off the rock pile that did so many good things. They all Muncy struck with a couple of strikeouts. Everybody had deer in the headlights, particularly Mookie. I mean, I thought that
Particularly.
Freddie had good at bats, but he was getting out. So the guy pitched really good. They had a good pitcher, that went up against us, but we had that. We don't have killer instinct right now. We're not playing with joy. Uh, we're not playing for fun. We're not trying to catch people. We look tight, tight, tight. Dave's got to do something. I got two recommendations for Dave today. Hopefully, Dave, I hope you're listening.
Let's hear.
The first one is you got to leave the competition open for the first batter. So since we got Shoei, he's been batting first. You figure, okay, he's a designated hitter. You want him to take the most at bats. He goes up first. The problem is nobody can hit behind him and nobody can hit in front of him. So I say compete for first batter and compete for who bats in front of Shoei. Shoei gets up, and your
I mean,
mother
it
would.
was Pajes, wasn't it? But even he's kind of went cold.
It killed him. It killed Pajes. But worse, nobody gets on base ahead of him. So our number nine guy, we've got to put a better hitter down at nine. We've got to hide the number nine. We've got to have like a kind of a Tommy Edman, somebody with a leadoff mentality that's looking base hit first. We got too many guys behind him that are thinking home run first. And, it's like just like when Crow Armstrong gets on base, it makes you nervous. You're throwing the ball before you catch it, it creates errors. We got to get people on. We can't win games just with home runs. It's
No,
there.
it's not good. But at the same time, I kind of want to go the opposite direction and go. The Dodgers usually win. We only lose at, I don't know what's happened. I guess Boston really messed us up. That's something we got to look into. I haven't really watched those games, but that was our fifth game in a row of losing.
Yeah, and
That's crazy.
coming in, I think I can't remember. Boston had either a 14 or a 15 game winning streak, and they pushed. I think they went from 14 to 17 by sweeping us.
Damn.
So they are the hottest team, and they're pretty young, and they're very aggressive, and they just got mojo. I mean, they're like the coach isn't putting any pressure. They're not putting any pressure. They're
That's
going up there.
that's the word you said it. No pressure. And I think if the Dodgers just try to relax and just go, ha, ha, if someone could tell them a joke before they go up to the bat, just something to ease the tension, because that's what I think all of it is. I think they look at Chicago as a team that could be, you know, a team to beat. And they look at that game, they probably didn't see Boston as a team like that because they only just got hot. They were on the biggest losing streak only like 3 months ago.
Uh,
So
that reminds me.
I was just,
Not only did Vesia not do well, but Cockfighter didn't do well. He
who's
gave up.
that?
The dude from Puerto Rico that was cockfighting on his days off, rehab,
I don't know who that is.
the trumpet guy,
Oh, you think Edwin
Diaz.
Diaz fights with chickens? He does the chicken stuff?
Yeah, he was down there. He got caught. We talked about it. When
What?
no, when he was supposed to be rehabbing, he was in Puerto Rico and he was the what do you call it? The person of honor at this event in Puerto Rico. And he's on tape and he didn't it's technically illegal in Puerto Rico, but they don't care. So he got paid to make uh, an announcement before cockfighting. This
Hey,
happened while he was
hey,
on rehab.
hey, that's just how they do it down there, man. I don't know what to tell you. You could
I
take the Puerto Rican out of Puerto Rico.
But I tell you what, when Edwin came into the game, his eyes were down. When he left the game, his eyes were down. He's embarrassed by it.
That's a cultural thing, dude. I don't know. Like
Yeah,
I don't like fighting animals either, but if this is a places that's been doing it for generations, it's like that's kind of hard to just like cut out, you
but
know?
what do they tell you when you join the Marines? They say, well, you're in the Army now, right? Okay, so he's in America now. And he got a lot of backlash from it. People in America didn't dig it. He got backlash.
I
So
I'm not
he
gonna I'm
he
not gonna get him in trouble for something that goes on in his, part of the world.
I'm not saying he's in trouble. I'm saying that he came into the game and
And by
left
the
the game
way,
with a burden on his
isn't Puerto
shoulders.
Rico in America, Dad?
51st state, yeah, kind of.
And honestly, it's kind of like it drives me a little crazy that Puerto Rico doesn't get the love it deserves. Like I did not understand the Bad Bunny shame at the Super Bowl. Bad Bunny's awesome. And the fact that some people actually turned on Kid Rock is embarrassing.
The,
That sucks.
Bad Bunny, that was weird to me. I mean, maybe
Why?
generationally for you, I could see it.
Why is it weird from a
We start
Spanish speaking family
we
that you're from?
and by the way, I can't stand Kid Rock. And your mom turned it to, it was actually a lady country singer when we saw it. And then when Kid Rock went, we turned the channel. I said, no, I'm not watching Kid Rock. Kid Rock is horribly outdated. He's not talented. He's a buddy of Trump. So what?
He's just a Trump simp
He's
and all and he's probably guys like him are, they're trying to call Trump and he's ignoring them. And
he's
it's just
got
like, what can I do for you, Mr. Trump, so I can get more,
he's got
bullshit.
Kid
I don't
Rock's
know.
got one famous song, and it's a compilation of 5 songs that were recorded years ago. So it's
Who
sick.
cares? Don't even speak on it. It
And I
don't
don't think
mean.
he's good. But anyhow, at any rate, the Dodgers got the deer in the headlights. They got to relax, and they've got the guys. I mean, they got like Hernandez in the dugout. They got what's his face is doing real well. The guy that throws the seeds at everybody, Hernandez. He looks great. He's hitting the ball. He hit one out not last night, but the night before in Chicago. He hit one out of the ballpark.
I saw that and that was pretty like, oh my God.
Teoscar's
I
Teoscar's still loose. So is Kike looks loose.
have a
Uh,
quick thought on Teoscar. Maybe you know something, but I noticed did you ever look at his like elbow pad and arm pad when he's up to bat?
yeah,
I'm pretty sure the logo on there, it's made with the autism puzzle.
it is.
I'm just wondering if you know anything behind
Ye-
that.
I mean, it's easy to look up. The first time we saw it, we thought it looks like children's cartoons, right? And we immediately looked it up, and that's what we found out to be. It's a somebody in his family
Gotcha.
said, "Would you wear this and give us, a little bit of love and attention?" And he said, "Sure." So
Nice.
he's
Well,
been doing
that's
that.
nice. That's
But
nice.
Teoscar looks a little bit long in the tooth. So does Freddie. So does Mookie. A couple of those guys. What if they just, what if 2 world championships takes a lot out of an older guy? What if we're actually getting them to, kind of like a star that's about to burn out? I mean,
I mean, we did make these guys play in the longest World Series game of all time.
but they played that many games 2 seasons in a row too. It's a
And
lot
look
of
and look at the competition. They have also waned as well. Toronto's not the same. Um,
it takes something out of you.
the Yankees were
And
trash
and
the
I,
year
I
after.
we might have to go all the way down to 4, above the Diamondbacks before we light the cannon again. I don't know. This could go on a little bit. These guys might just be drooping. Look at Will Smith's got to come back. Oh, by the way, we didn't talk about the 2 new catchers, Fiducia and Rortvet came back. Guess what? Rush, it came out in the paper this morning, got a slight tear in his elbow. So that's why they brought the 2 catchers in immediately.
Well, I mean, shit, it's been only rushing this entire time for
Well,
since like what, the spring?
we had there was a black kid that came in there. I can't think of his name. Franklin. He came up from AAA, and then he went down, and then Alonso came up, and Alonso's still there. Alonso was catched all these last couple of days before they got Rortvet was starting last night.
Hmm.
And it's Fiducia and Rortvet are Dodger catchers from the past, so they know the system, they know the program. They could step right in, and Rortvet did a good job. I mean, he didn't hit anything, and he's a strong dude, man. He's when you see him, he's a physical specimen. Rush is a stud. This guy's probably 2 inches taller and just as studly.
Hmm.
But
Well,
anyhow, that's what's going
so we
on. You
got one
want,
more game today in the morning time
yeah, 11
against
20.
against Chicago. And then
You
after
want
that, it's like you say, it's the Diamondbacks who you've said are very dangerous this year, you know.
Yeah.
So you
Do you
gotta, what's up?
They're coming. No, I thought you might want to switch over to Charlie Hole real quick
I
because
actually do want to talk about Charlie Hall.
the
I just
Charlie
wanted to
Hole
get a look
story,
at the
Charlie
schedule
Hole's
coming up.
The Charlie Hole story is just
I'm not weird.
so.
I'm not really sure what to think. I can understand a lot of people, this actually made the headlines on Reddit's faux ma, which is like the girls gossiping celebrity
Yeah.
uh subreddit that I got banned from because I just asked a question.
Really?
It's one of those really annoying subreddits, but I can't help it, Dad. I love the gossip, so that's why I still follow it. And they were
And,
tearing her on
and
there.
that and that's all it is gossip. But
But they were
there,
tearing her a new one because, a lot of people saw it as like as a, class warfare. It's like this guy, you know, isn't making 100 grand a year. But he could be, he very well could be with Charlie Hull. But that's what everyone kind of assumes because he's the caddy. But she wins enough that he could be making very well. And then I don't know whatever, he might even get like a half sponsorship deal because, he's out there on
but
TV.
who was the golfer last year that tore up the locker after he missed the
That
cut?
was one Wyndham Clark.
Okay, so Wyndham Clark he's the poster boy for entitled golfer, right? And so you naturally think, I mean, the average fan, or let's just say not even a fan, doesn't know anything about golf, is going to assume that all the golfers are entitled. They came from an upbringing. But see, that's just the absolute opposite of Charlie Hole. She's just a kid with a family. Her dad was a cigarette smoking golfer that was decent. She picked it up to hang out with them as an only kid, and she got really good at it without a lot of money. And she didn't have doesn't never had a teacher, never spent it. She's got when you hear her talk on TV, you'd swear you're listening to a 13-year-old girl. She is not sophisticated. She is just
She's like,
average.
right, in it. Are we gonna
She
go?
well,
Let's
you
play
hit
golf. Yeah,
no, you got to put in
right.
about three F bombs in
She's
there.
she sounds like she just sounds like kind of like I don't know. I'm sure there's a word for a
I
Londoner or
I
whatever.
don't want to call out the poor people that had to grow up in a trailer park. But that's what she sounds like that. Okay, she's not sophisticated. She is not a college educated girl. She was a pro at 16. I don't even think she finished high school. I mean, she is a commoner, foul mouth. I mean, they're afraid to interview her because everything's fuck out of her mouth every time, right?
Like
And
fuck it, right?
and and she's smoking a cigarette going down, and she goes to people in the crowd that are smoking a cigarette and says, "Can I have a puff?" And she'll take a puff. I mean, she is just a commoner, and she's got a guy that's addicted to scratchers. And so she's constantly, every time she's in a grocery store, she buys him five scratchers or $20 worth of scratchers because he's her friend. And then she happens into the freaking joke store in London and finds this, it's a fake $100,000 scratcher. And she goes, "Oh my God, it's brilliant. I can't wait." So she buys her typical allotment of scratchers. London's been in the scratcher
Well,
game for
did
years.
you mention that the caddy was a scratch-aholic?
He is.
He buys like tons of these things,
And
and
she's and she's
it's like his hobby.
and she bought into the habit. Whenever she's at the gas, she says, "Whenever I'm at the gas and run, I buy him scratchers. Just hand them to him." So she goes, "It was easy for me to just put in a group of 10. I gave it to him with the other 10. I
So
took one out."
he got the fake one. He
And
thought he won 100 grand. He had a little, he was elated. He was like, ah, and then
he went down to the caddy room and was buying everybody drinks. He thought he won 100,000
oh,
bucks.
bro, I didn't know that. So he
Yeah.
spent, I wonder how much money on that. See, now
and
there's
she
collateral
and
damage.
and
He
she
actually,
she and she let it go. She let it go. She just thought, "Holy shit!" When he finds out, this is going to be rip roaring. But she's the mentality of a 13-year-old. I swear to you.
yeah,
I
of a
mean,
wee child.
I saw her one time. She was on on the Golf Channel. They do lessons. The other British girl, what is her name? That just stopped being a pro and now she's got the microphone. she was doing, she goes, and she knows Charlie, but she doesn't know Charlie. And she says, Charlie, the network wants me to work on chipping today. So I propose that you give me, you're a really good chipper. You're great around the greens and the traps. You need to give me a lesson. How do you think about it? How do you look at it? How do you approach it? How do you do it? And she just right out of her mouth, they beeped. She's like, oh, fuck, you can't ask me to teach. I don't even know how I do it. I can't teach. I've never been taught. I just figured it out. This is what I do. And she's going, oh, Charlie, hold off. She goes, no, I'm going to walk off. I'm not giving lessons to anybody. I'm not equipped to give lessons. I've never had a lesson in my life. I don't even know how to give a lesson. That's what she said and stormed away.
And it's
I
kind of
saw
funny
that.
you mention that. And this is why I say the greats are not good teachers because they don't a lot of them just figure it out and they don't even like need to analyze. Like us,
Yeah.
people like me who aren't that great at golf will like research and do all this stuff because I can't figure it out. But when some people just have it naturally, you can just move on with your day. You're like, okay, that worked, and I'm gonna go to the next thing. But the rest of us, you get stuck. We're like, okay, what the hell? And you go on
Okay,
YouTube, you
so
read books and all this other
yes,
shit.
yesterday we played Marshall Canyon, 18, hot day, hilly as hell. I want to take you out
Wait,
there sometime.
before we didn't finish the story though. So
Oh,
eventually she tells him it's fake, and
and
he
he says,
almost
I
threatened to
quit.
quit.
No, no, he said, I quit. And she said, really? How are you going to make a living? And he goes, well,
I guess
he
I guess I'm
said,
not quitting.
I'm going to unquit until I get some time to think about this. And then he came back to her, was laughing and went, shit, this is the greatest joke you ever done to me in my life. And I'm no more scratchers.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it's,
I don't need to stop the scratchers, but now I'm just gonna be like,
yeah.
Charlie, is this another fake scratcher?
Well, but Charlie said, no, why don't you start thinking about how you're going? She goes, I'm not going to play forever. You need to learn how to invest this money, start a business, do something, not scratchers. So that was how it ended. And, people from Reddit, I got to tell you, I think it's maybe when you send me stuff, you might have the most ignorant group of people on the planet because all they are listening to is they're looking for the gossip out. Like you said, I like the gossip, the gossip's entertaining. If you accept it for that and not believe for a second that anybody writing in Reddit knows what they're talking about, you're fine. And
Yeah.
you said a second ago, you said like your mom asked me on a golf course, and that's why I brought it up. We're at Marshall Canyon. She's having a rough go. And she goes, do you enjoy playing with me more or Teddy more? I said, well, to be honest, it's become more enjoyable to play with Teddy.
Enjoyable.
And she goes, why is that? I said, because you ask a million questions after every bad shot. And he, on the other hand, is more apt to go research it and figure it out for himself and then try that. And she goes, so you're saying I should do more research? I said, you should do whatever you want. But I said, you got a great book in there. And the next, like for the last 6 hours or whatever, she's been in that book trying to figure out, a couple of things that didn't go wrong for
I think little help mom is you have to really just stop caring and just go out there and only focus about, you know,
her.
head down because that's golf. Golf isn't looking up, following your shot. Golf, it all happens right there
So,
when you look down, and that's
yeah.
all you need to focus yourself about.
So
If
we're,
you do anything,
yeah.
if you look away, if you don't continue to do everything with your leading arm leading, then it's going to be a bad time. But if you can just do those two things, honestly, the rest of the game comes together and you can stop
So
analyzing.
we were taking our walk last night and we had stopped talking about it. Okay, we're on our walk. It's the issue's dead. She's been in the book. She's trying to figure out stuff on her own. And out of nowhere, she says, the thing that makes me so mad is 3 weeks ago we played at a similar course and I shot blank. And this time I shot blank, 4 strokes worse. So I'm 4 strokes worse. And I said, Mary, stop right there. I said, you can't compare the elements of that day versus this day, and you can't compare these two golf courses. You can't. You've never played a course this hilly before. Okay, so you had uphill, downhill, side hill.
Yeah.
And I said, you did pretty good considering that, but to compare it to another golf course and another score is irrational. It is. It like you said, it's here and now. I'm looking at this ball and I got to put it over there. That's it.
Yeah. And I think that I think that's a problem with many early golfers is like too much thinking, trying to be good too fast. Just enjoy, just try to simplify and think less and just hit, head down, hit, move on to the next shot.
Yeah. The only
And
thing I told her that she has to be thinking about is I said, at this point in the game, you don't hit the ball far enough, to hit your second shot on the green. It's not going to happen very often. You might get lucky. But what you got to think about is just think of where do you want your next shot to, how do you set yourself up for the next shot? That's what you should just, you don't want to be under the tree. You don't want to be in that left rough. You don't want to be in that sand. How do you get to the ball in a position where your next shot is straight at the flag? That's all you can think about.
there's also so many ways you can play. Like was reading about a story about a guy who plays the whole, you could play the whole round with like a driver and a 7 iron and a putter. If you just know, if you're just comfortable with hitting your soft bump and runs and you know how to hit them, like you can have a totally sh good short game with a 7 iron, no problem. It's just about, your understanding of the angle that ball is going to go when you hit it at that pace. And so you just have to, measure it based on the
Ted,
distance.
I don't know how you figured that out, but I got to tell you, that's brilliant. There are times when I went to golf tournaments where, because of traffic, I got there late. There was no time to get ready. And in my mind, the last thing I got to do was start losing strokes because I'm putting drivers out of bounds. And I would play 3 or 4 holes with nothing but a 6 iron until I got my rhythm. And I would, with playing 4 holes, I might get 2 pars and 2 bogeys. I never got in trouble, and I could always, you see my short game. All I got to do is get near the green, and I'm going to go up and down. So I just would play that way until I was in rhythm, and then pull out my 3 wood or my driver or some bigger club.
That's how I do
I
it now. I hit 4 iron until I figured out how to hit that. And but yeah, there's like it's a funny thing. Like people get, I think myself included, I got obsessed with a certain way you have to play, where I
Yeah,
have to hit the driver first, and then
because the guy on
then a
TV
good 7 iron. But no, you play
hit the shot
and
you can hit.
like you should go out
Yeah,
for a round and only like if you're doing practice, just go hit one club.
there's
You
nothing
know,
wrong with it.
there's so many ways to approach it, and there's no right or wrong way.
No, you want to get it in position to hit the next shot or make the putt. That's all you're trying to do. And without even paying attention to your score, it will come falling down like a tree. I mean, I'm not kidding you. I'm not sure where you are on time.
I gotta go.
Okay.
My back is almost back from when I tweaked it
Okay,
watching
good.
TV in a bad posture.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to play a little bit Saturday morning, and at the place near me, just get a
Okay.
good practice round in, and then see how it feels.
Well,
But
good
yeah,
for you. And then next time I'm going to leave this for later. I want to talk about traffic school because I had to do that on Monday, and we'll start there next
all right,
time.
I'll put that at the top of the list.
All
Traffic
right.
school. All
All
right,
right.
well, this has been fun.
Have a great day,
Hope you
and
all enjoyed it. Thank you to our
yeah,
sponsors that we'll talk about at some point when we get them.
mucho gracias,
Come on,
sponsors.
guys, invest in yourselves. Invest in two Teds talking.
All right, son. Love
All
you.
right,
Take
love you.
care.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.